Big news for the Tea Partiers, hoping to bring physical sanity to Capitol Hill. The House today greenlighted our next guest to form a Tea Party Caucus. Michele Bachmann, Republican from Minnesota, joins us now. Congresswoman, now what would this Tea Party Caucus do about jobs?
Well, the whole goal of the Tea Party Caucus is to be able to listen to the American people and bring their common sense ideas here into the United States Congress. Because the one thing that we have heard is that the American people have said Congress isn't listening to us.
Right.
And so that's what we want to do, have an open door. Our first meeting will be this week in the Congress, and we're inviting real people, normal people, to come in with common sense ideas, and the members of Congress will be listening to real people. So we're very excited. It's this Wednesday, and our first meeting will be at 9 o'clock in the morning for an hour, and we're looking forward to that because the American people know how jobs are created in the private sector, and we look forward to giving them an open door.
Now, Congresswoman, at that meeting at 9 o'clock, if you were to vote on extending unemployment benefits another 32 or 56 weeks, how do you think that vote would go in your caucus?
I think that the American people will say that's fine if you have a way to pay for it. That's the problem with President Obama's plan. He wants to extend unemployment benefits at tens of billions of dollars without any way to pay for it whatsoever. So he just wants to keep driving up the public credit card, and of course we all know it's businesses, it's a job-killing formula. Businesses will be hurt, jobs will be hurt, and that won't help our economy.
All right, Mrs. Engel, what say you? If you were Senator Engel this week and you were asked to vote for additional employment benefits, how would you vote it?
Well, I'd have to vote no because, as Congressman Bachmann said, they have no way to pay for it. They aren't even considering how to pay for it. And as she so appropriately said, they're just charging more on the credit card. And as we know, that credit card has reached its limit.
All right, so where would you guys...
They're not cashing any more of our credit cards.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Reminds me of being at Del Frisco's last week. What is the issue that you would cut? How would you fund this, Congressman Bachmann? What would you cut for the $35 billion or $45 billion to extend these credits?
Well, what most economists have been agreeing is that we really need to tackle and reform our entitlements. That's the mother of all spending. So we have to have entitlement reform, and quite frankly, what we need to do is repeal Obamacare flat out. That's a huge multi-trillion-dollar hit to the American budget, and we cannot take it. So this culture of dependency that big government has been fostering, that has to go, and we have to have a dramatic reform effort so we can have a pro-business growth economy that's a job creator, not a job killer.
So let me see if I get this. This could be a Fox News alert. You would cut an entitlement program to pay for an entitlement program. Is that what you're saying?
We need to reform the entitlement programs and get them under control. Just this last week, there are people on the Democrat side of the aisle also saying that we simply can't go forward. As a matter of fact, you probably heard Erskine Bowles with the president's new committee that's recommending on the deficit, and he came out and said we are looking at a complete and total predictable financial disaster. We all know that, and he said himself that what we're looking at is having to reform the entitlement program going forward because, quite frankly, it is bankrupt going forward. And so in order to keep faith with senior citizens, we have to reform it so the truly needy don't go without.
Sure. Let's talk a little SIGTARP here, can't we? The TARP program that turns out actually cost 200,000 jobs. Congressman Bachmann, are you surprised by that? Does that make you Dutch angry, by the way? I love when you use it.
Oh, yes, it absolutely does. You know how we talk in Minnesota. Yeah, that's right. It got them in Dutch trouble. No, the SIGTARP program, many of us were warning about this when the president, through his automobile task force, said they were planning to close 3,400 car dealerships around the country. What does the federal government know about closing down car dealerships?
Evidently not much.
And that's right. And the report came out and said that here in a down economy, the federal government lost 200,000 jobs with their genius, that's sarcastically said, with their genius program that wasn't so smart. Let's let the private sector make those plans and shed jobs where appropriate to gain efficiencies. Let's not have the federal government take over and try and run private businesses
All
in
right.
the private sector.
Congressman